recording started, so let's call this Tuesday morning community update to order. Good morning, everyone. This is Commissioner David Yamamoto. Today is Tuesday, August 30, 2022, and we will call this meeting's order at 8 a.m. sharp. So before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to please mute your phones. You can do this by pressing star 6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak. Again, pressing star 6. It is very important for all others to please remain muted. Thank you. So, welcome to our weekly community update. It is Tuesday morning. Let's start with the Commissioner's roll call. Commissioner Bell, are you with us?
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning. And Commissioner Scar?
Good morning, I am here. My computer has just told me it is going to upgrade and I don't seem to have an option. So I'll be joining back by phone momentarily because I think it's going to do something whether I want it or not. So I am here, but I may be out for a few minutes.
And so you can call in if you like also.
Yes, I'll switch to the phone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The wonders of technology, aren't they great? So, again, welcome everyone. We would normally go to Eric Swanson at Adventist Health. Eric has told us that he is not available this Tuesday or next Tuesday, so he will not be with us. So with that, we're going to go directly to the Coastal Caucus. And I know we have Representative Weber and Representative Gomberg on the line. So let's turn this right over to the Coastal Caucus.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Isn't this a beautiful day, though? The sun's shining, and it's going to be nice and warm here, and I'm afraid we'll probably have more visitors than we know what to do with. But, you know, we had a wonderful weekend in Tillamook this week. I feel bad for you because Moonlight Madness was very successful on Friday night. There were the movies in the field, in the farmer's field on both Friday and Saturday night that were very successful. Saturday was the farmer's market, and I really want to thank all of the people who are responsible for making this possible for us to enjoy. And then, you know how you think back on all the people that make all these things happen, and I just want to thank someone who's very special in this community, and it's Ruby at the museum. I don't know if all of you know Ruby and all that she has contributed to the success of the Pioneer Museum and all of our county's resources for our history. I learned so much from her every time we have a talk, whether it's about a farmer's field or Hembry Ridge or somewhere else, and all of the people that I have sent to her for help and research. She has been so kind and so helpful. And I just want to say thank you, Ruby. You being at the museum and knowing you're there, it is very comforting knowing that our historical resources are there and you're there too. So besides all the summer fun, I spent a lot of time in meetings last week because we're gearing up for Ledge Days, and we're also gearing up for looking at what kind of bills we're going to be introducing. And so I have had an extensive meeting on the journey of a bill, how it goes from concept to fruition. And, you know, every year we do this and renew what the process is, what we have to do, what all is involved in the making of a bill. And this time we especially have a lot of housing challenges. And I'll be talking with Aaron Scar very soon to talk about some legislative concepts that would be especially pertinent to things in Tillamook County. And I'm going to appreciate all of that. And there is a housing commission committee meeting this Thursday morning, if anyone is interested. They're very vibrant group that are working especially hard for the success of the people of Tillamook County. Another exciting thing I got to do last week was I got to tour the paper mill in Wana. And I got to see how Costco paper towels are made. And that is fascinating, the process that it goes through in order to bring those paper towels to people at Costco. And then we have another organization in our community that is also a very vibrant organization that is taking care of our citizens, and that is Marine Mills. And there was the board meeting was this last Thursday under Ron Rush's leadership. That has thrived, and he's going to be retiring soon. And if you see him, please relate to him how much you appreciate all he has done for the citizens of our county. With that, I think that other than the Coastal Caucus meeting that we will have on Thursday to once again go over issues that are pertinent to, especially to our coast with our legislators, I think that's about all I have, except to tell everyone to be safe over Labor Day weekend. I've heard lots and lots of sirens throughout the weekend, and that concerns me deeply, especially on Highway 6. Be careful, and all you going back to school, I hope you have a wonderful school year, and I appreciate all of the teachers that are bringing your education to you. So thank you. Thank you, KTIL, for being able to do this, and the County Commission also.
Thank you, Representative Weber. Representative Gomberg, I know you're there.
I am indeed. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, and to all of our Tillamook County listeners. I have to agree completely with my friend Representative Weber. Traffic is up. Attention seems to be down. Statistically, the number of accidents that we are seeing, hearing, or experiencing on our highways is increasing. And very sadly, I have to say the number of fatal accidents here on the coast is also increasing. Really need to urge people to be cautious and to be considerate. If you see that you're in a long stream of traffic and somebody's trying to make a left-hand turn, slow down and let them in safely so they don't have to wait, take a chance on a gap that really isn't large enough. You'll be back in the flow of traffic within moments. You won't lose any progress at all. Traffic safety is of very real importance, particularly as we head into the holiday weekend. Well, I like to try and share hard news with you on these morning calls, but I want to start with some joyful news. It wasn't in Tillamook County, but it was within sight of Tillamook County in the very north end of Lincoln County. I was able to participate this week in a groundbreaking for not one, but two Habitat for Humanity homes. Now, we in the legislature work very hard on housing, and we put money forward to help communities build housing. But I always say that Habitat for Humanity, they build homes, not houses. And it's always such a joyful experience to be there with these families that are looking toward the construction of their very own, very first house. In this case, it'll be taking in two families and a total of 8 children who I hope and believe will grow strong and healthy side by side and become dear friends through the course of their life. It really is a joyful experience, and the looks on the faces of these families when you put a shovel in the ground and start construction on their first house is just remarkable. For policy news, I wanted to talk for a moment about green crabs. Green crabs are an invasive species here on the coast. We haven't historically had an issue with them, but and the reason for that is because they don't breed in cold water. But as our waters are getting warmer, these green crab species are migrating north, and they're having an effect on our indigenous crab species, particularly the Dungeness crab. The Department of Fish and Wildlife came out with a new rule this week, increasing the bag limit on green crabs from the current limit of 10 to a limit of 35. I think that's a constructive change. Some people have asked me if these things are a problem, why don't we just eliminate the bag limit altogether? The best answer I've been able to get to that is that sometimes it's hard to distinguish between greens and Dungeness, and we don't want people taking an undue number of Dungeness crab out of the water. But I just wanted to pause for a minute and tell you, this is how state rules and regulations get into trouble, because the current bag limit is 10 crabs. You can't catch more than 10. So what happens if you pull up your crab net and you find 12 in there? Well, because they're an invasive species, you're not allowed to put them back in the water. So you can't keep them and you can't return them. And so increasing the bag limit to 35 is getting rid of this mess, this catch-22 that people find themselves in, where they're not allowed to catch more than 10, but if they do, they're not allowed to return them to the water either. So I don't know what people were expected to do. We've changed the rule and fixed that. I also wanted to talk for just a moment about small business. You know that Susie and I ran a small business here on the coast for 35 years, and the biggest challenges, I believe, looking back, are first of all finding locations on where we want to operate our business, and then finding employees to staff that business. But the third and ongoing challenge was money. Finding the money to start up and cover our startup expenses, buy our inventory, carry us through the lean months, because here at the coast, at least our experiences was that with the ebb and flow of visitor traffic, you make money 4 months a year, you lose money 4 months a year, you break even 4 months a year. And that becomes very, very fragile when you could see a disruption in the customer flow, like, well, if we had a pandemic, for example. So the state of Oregon has made some changes of late, the most significant of which is something I've worked on to increase loan money available from the current limit of $100,000 up to a limit of $1 million. Sounds like a lot of money, but trust me, when you're starting a business, $1 million ain't what it used to be. So you can now borrow up to $1 million, and these are specialty loans intended for disadvantaged communities and disadvantaged parts of Oregon where it may be more expensive or more difficult to start a business. And the loans are intended for businesses that can't get a conventional or traditional bank loan, but still qualify for and need the money. So I see that as a constructive change. I was pleased to see the federal government also making changes to make more money available for startups and for underserved communities. So that's going to make it a little easier for people to start businesses. Commissioners, I will tell you what I am seeing is more and more people starting their own enterprises these days. Particularly as we come out of the pandemic, we've got more people that got used to being at home, taking care of the kids at home, working remotely, and learning that they could start their own enterprise from home and not have to hire child care for after school, but could take care of their own kids and take care of business as well. But they need that startup funding to get going. So we're trying to put those tools in place. So I talked about a couple of new houses. I talked about crabs. I talked about small business. Those are the things on my list this morning. Be happy to talk about anything else that you may have questions about.
Thank you, Representative Gomberg and Representative Weber. Any questions for our Coastal Caucus members? No, we do appreciate very much both of you being here every Tuesday morning to give us an update on what you're working on. Representative Weber, yes, Ruby is a gem. I can't believe how busy she stays. I really think she maybe ought to be a commissioner. That would be wonderful. The Marie Mills Center that you mentioned also. I was a board member of Marie Mills for 3 years or so, and it's just a great organization. They do wonderful things for so many people in Tillamook County, and it's amazing what they do. Representative Gomberg, you talked about green crabs. Don't take this wrong, please, but I use this all the time. I tell people that, well, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. But in this instance, ODFW, I'm sure with the urging of you and many other legislators, asked them to do the right thing, which they did. So I think that's perfect. You also talked about small business, many people starting their own businesses. And we continue to talk about the lack of people that we can hire. And we hear this throughout the community and throughout the state. Where is everyone? Unemployment is so low at this point. Where is everyone? I think you're absolutely correct there. People are starting their own businesses and working from home. So that's good and bad. So again, I appreciate again, both of you, being here every Tuesday and having these conversations with us. Any other questions for our Coastal Caucus?
Commissioner, if I may.
Yes, please, Commissioner Bell.
Thank you. Representative Gomberg, I wanted to let you know that I spent some time over the weekend with some constituents from South Tillamook County who were singing your praises to me, and I certainly agree that you have done a great job representing Tillamook County, and we will all be sorry to lose you when the...
I didn't hear you very well. Could you say that again?
Yes, I said I spent some time with some constituents from South Tillamook County over the weekend, and they were singing your praises to me. They were telling me how much they like you and how helpful you've been and how sorry they are that we're going to lose you when redistricting happens, all of which I agree. And so we talked about how wonderful you are for a while. And then they said that they had talked to you about some possible legislation you were working on about tiny houses. And I was just curious about that, and I wondered if you could speak to that.
Oh, goodness. And first of all, I apologize. You were saying something nice about me, and I was being facetious and asking you to repeat it. But,
oh, I thought you really couldn't hear me.
so I apologize to all of our listeners as well.
That's okay.
That was good.
Tiny houses. We are in the very early stages of crafting legislation right now, although that clock is ticking and the deadline is going to be upon us very soon. So yes, there are some notions that are working their way forward in terms of tiny housing, but it's a complex situation because, as you well understand, it's not simply a matter of allowing houses to be smaller. It's a question of finding land to put them on and how many of them we put on that land. So I would be very happy to continue this conversation with you and find your ideas. We're working on some bills, but I do not have anything in the final stage right now.
Okay, thank you. I will follow up with you on that. I'm interested in that subject, and it certainly could impact the availability of housing. So thanks for working on it.
Thank you again to the Coastal Caucus. Any other questions for our Coastal Caucus members? Thank you again for being here. So let's go to the Tillamook County Community Health Center. Do we have either Marlene Putman or Ed Colson with us this morning?
Good morning, Commissioner. Ed Colson's here with the Health Department.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, and good morning, Tillamook County. Well, to start off with, in Tillamook County, our community level transmission is high. We've had 26 positive cases and a test positivity rate of 38.2%. That was recorded over the past 7 days, and that's from the 21st through the 27th. So just as a way of a reminder, following our COVID-19 safety guidance can help reduce the spread of COVID-19. So if you're planning to attend a large gathering or event, it is highly recommended to continue to follow the guidelines of monitoring yourself for signs and symptoms of illness and test if you have symptoms, have had close contact with a confirmed COVID-19 case, or after attending an event or gathering. Wear a mask indoors in public and outdoors if the area is crowded and you're unable to space out 6 feet. And then, as always, please remember to stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccines. They're the best protection against COVID-19 when you stay up to date with them. And that includes also receiving your boosters. So everyone 6 months and older is eligible for an initial COVID-19 vaccine series. And then everyone 5 years old and older should get 1 booster after completion of the series. And then those aged 50 and older and those immunocompromised should get 2 booster doses. Those vaccines are available throughout the county at our health center by appointment, Safeway, Fred Meyer, and Tillamook Pharmacy, as well as our partners at Adventist Health and Nehalem Bay Health Center. You can give us a call, 503-842-3940 for more information. Visit our website, tillamookchc.org, as well as the new Novavax COVID-19 vaccine is available at our healthcare clinic. Once again, 842-3900 to make an appointment for that. Now, additional precautions may be needed for people at high risk for severe illness, so please talk with your healthcare provider or contact the COVID-19 support line. That phone number is 866-917-8881 for assistance. Now, detailed COVID-19 case data is available on our COVID-19 resource page. Once again, our website, tillamookchc.org. Reminder that if you do test positive for COVID-19, it can make anyone feel nervous. We are, as public health professionals, are here to help. So if you do test positive, please follow the OHA isolation guidelines to isolate, and that's stay at home from work and away from others for at least 5 days from the start of symptoms or your positive test result, if without symptoms. And then please seek treatment as early as possible if you're at high risk for severe COVID-19 illness. Now, last week, Tillamook Board of County Commissioners officially recognized and proclaimed August 31st as International Overdose Awareness Day. This demonstrates the commitment Tillamook County has to supporting residents who are fighting substance use disorders and the agencies working to support these individuals. So please help us to continue to increase awareness, resources, and education for substance use disorders by participating in Tillamook County's International Overdose Awareness Day in downtown at the 2nd Street Plaza from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Tomorrow, August 31st. And this annual campaign aims to end overdose, remember without stigma those who have died, and acknowledge the grief of the family and friends left behind. There will be a resource fair of local organizations, a Narcan training and distribution of kits, as well as refreshments and a rock painting activity for the first 100 attendees. So please come join us at the health department for this family-friendly event, and remember to wear purple. And lastly, we just want to remind everyone to schedule your annual wellness exams for yourself and your family. As we move closer to September and then school starting, it's a good time to check on your overall health by completing a wellness exam, especially before cold and flu season begins. So the health center providers provide comprehensive wellness exams that are covered by most insurance plans, including Medicare and OHP, and meet the criteria for sports physicals. If you do not have insurance, we have a sliding fee schedule for services based on income. And in addition, our certified health insurance enrollers can aid in enrolling in the Oregon Health Plan or in an individual marketplace plan. We have on-site interpreters for Spanish language, and interpreters for other languages are available by phone. So now through December 31st, when you have a wellness exam at our health center, you may be eligible to receive a gift card in the mail after your visit. So to schedule an appointment, please call 842-3900, and we'll be able to get you seen with one of our providers there. And that's our health department update, and I'll turn it back over to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Ed. Yes, hard to believe that summer is coming to an end and sports physicals are back in the news, and things are going to get very busy again at school. I appreciate you being here very much. Do we have any questions for Ed Colson? Thank you again, Ed, for being with us. Let's go to the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. Gail Nelson. Gail, are you with us?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, just a few announcements. Some good news. We received from the Health Resources and Services Administration, also known as HRSA, the COVID-19 Public Health Champion Badge. And this recognizes our contributions as a health center to providing critical public health services during the COVID-19 public health emergency. So I'd like to take a moment to congratulate the staff for all their fine contributions to help make this possible. And also, we will be participating in the overdose awareness event downtown tomorrow, and we're looking forward to that. Our team has been looking forward to attending and providing education and support to the community. And finally, the Nia County Student Health and Wellness Center, the school-based health center that we support at the high school, opened earlier this month for sports physicals and other medical care for students and staff of the school district. Our counseling staff will be on site starting next week when school starts to offer mental health counseling services. And those are my announcements for this morning.
Thank you so much, Gail, for being with us. Any questions for Gail Nelson? Thank you again. I have been told that Frank Henry Williams is not going to be able to be with us this morning. So let's move on to the Sheriff's Office. We have Sheriff Brown with us this morning.
This is Sheriff Brown. I am here.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. I have no major announcements or any major events to talk about this morning. I will take this opportunity to plug our social media presence. We do have the Facebook page and Instagram account. We try very hard to make sure that we utilize those the best we can and push out information that we believe the community needs to know or deserves to know. So if you don't follow our Facebook page or our Instagram page, I encourage you to do so. There is a lot of good information, like I said, that we try to push out on there. The last thing I want to say is as we come into the final holiday weekend of our county's summer season, or everybody's summer season, I just want to remind everybody to please drive safe, be patient. We don't want to see people getting into crashes. Of course, there's an increased flow of traffic, so driving safe and being aware and of course being patient is critical to that. Be kind to your neighbors, be kind to people, and most of all, enjoy this weekend. Enjoy the weather, enjoy family and friends, and really just have a good time as we cap the end of summer here and prepare for fall and school time. Just want everybody to enjoy that. So with that, I can take any questions, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Sheriff Brown. Any questions for Sheriff Josh Brown? Thank you, Sheriff, for being with us.
Thank you.
Let's go to emergency management. Randy Thorpe. Randy.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Morning.
I'd like to start off with just a little bit of our updates on some grants that will affect our county. The first one is the Emergency Management Performance Grant, which is due, I think, Sunday. I completed that. I will be taking that before the commissioners tomorrow for their approval to submit that grant. And that's for our funding for actually the fiscal year starting July 1st. So it's kind of a grant after we've already started to spend the money. So that's just the way we do it every year. The next one is our Spire Equipment Grant. There was quite a few communities and fire departments that applied for equipment through this grant, and my last understanding from a person who sat on the selection committee for that said that they should be sending out those notifications in September and letting people know what equipment they were awarded and start the process on getting the specs built for those different pieces of equipment. So hopefully that is true and that we'll hear something back this month. The other one is the Homeland Security Grant, which does affect a few of the areas here in our county. And again, they're promising us that by the end of September, we'll know how much money we're getting through those grants and which additional projects were approved. So hopefully we can do that so we can start spending money before the end of the year. The Homeland Security Grant, just two on that, it's not a matching grant, so that's the beauty of that grant, is that it's just 100% money that FEMA will send to the county. The other and last thing is that I've started doing the planning process for our October winter preparation meeting. It hasn't been held the last few years because of COVID, but we're going to try to get an in-person meeting set up for in October this year, and continue that meeting, in the future. The other thing we're having the first part of October is they're setting up a 3-county winter preparation meeting, which will include Clatsop, Tillamook, and Lincoln County. And so this is going to be kind of a winter preparation meeting with 3 counties, so we can coordinate and make sure that we're all prepared for the upcoming winter months, and also make sure that all our agreements and understandings we have are all in place, so we can assist each other through the winter. And like I say, that meeting will be the first part of September, but we're going to also have the more localized, just Tillamook County October winter preparation meeting too. So that's all I have right now, so I'll turn that back to Commissioner Yamamoto.
Thank you so much, Randy, for being here. Any questions for Randy Thorpe? Randy, I appreciate you very much, especially these winter emergency preparedness meetings. It's amazing, especially in Tillamook County, how if something happens, people in Tillamook County just step right up, and everyone helps everyone else in times of stress. But you putting together these meetings, again, with Clatsop County to the north and Lincoln County to the south, where again, we reciprocate when we have emergencies, as well as other counties in the state of Oregon. So again, appreciate everything you're doing there. Let's move on to the Board of Commissioners. Let's start with Commissioner Bell.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I heard from Joanne Wolfley, who is the director of Tillamook County Parks, that she'd like me to address a rumor that's going around, in particular in South County, and I'm happy to do so. So that's what I'm going to talk about this morning. This is interesting because unlike most rumors where there's a thread of truth, like a little ribbon of truth, and then it gets all, confused and people make stuff up, there seems to be no thread of truth to this one. So I'm happy to talk about it and dispel it. There have been questions, people have been asking Tillamook County Parks and Oregon Parks and Recreation District and Oregon State Marine Board about the rumor that's going around that the Pacific City boat launch is going to be closed and commercially developed. And it's absolutely not true. It's not even slightly true. There's no thread of truth in it. The backstory that I'm happy to provide is that OPRD, which is Oregon Parks and Recreation District, is the owner of the Pacific City boat launch. And not everybody may know, but the Pacific City boat launch is actually part of Bob Straub State Park. However, the Pacific City boat launch has been operated by Tillamook County Parks since the 1950s, so for over 70 years. There's no plan to change that. What's happening right now is that the lease has expired, and so we're in the process of developing a new lease so that Tillamook County Parks will continue to operate the Pacific City boat launch. And the reason OPRD prefers to have Tillamook County Parks operate boat launches is because we have other boat launches. We're in that business, and we provide maintenance for those boat launches that OPRD doesn't prefer to provide. And if we have a lease to operate it, then we're able to get grants to help us maintain the boat launches. So we're in the legal process of developing a new lease, and the public should know that right now there's this small window of opportunity that while the boat launch is not leased to Tillamook County, you can use it without paying the day use fee. So until we have a lease in place, you don't have to pay the day use fee there because we're not technically operating it, although we in fact are operating it. But we don't have an active lease right now. As soon as we have the new lease in place, the day use fee will go back into place for the Pacific City boat launch only. There are no plans to develop the facility into anything other than a boat launch, and there never have been, and that's not on the horizon, and no one is talking about it other than whoever is spreading these rumors. So I'm glad I could clear that up. I think that's all I've got. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Bell. Normally when there are these rumors floating around, you're absolutely correct. There is some thread of truth somewhere in there that gets blown up. But yeah, I would agree with you that the Pacific City boat launch being developed commercially really does not make a lot of sense. So thank you for addressing that this morning. Let's go to Commissioner Scar. Commissioner Scar, are you back with us?
I am, after a visit from IT support and a change from the desk telephone to the cell phone, back to the desk computer. It's been while you all have been having a great call, I have been just having fun with technology, but I'm back. You can always count on technology to go wrong at the wrong moment, but I'm back. Okay. So I had the opportunity this last weekend to attend the Tillamook Working Lands and Waters Drive-In Cinema at the Martin Dairy and make a few opening remarks just to kind of remind everybody about the key industries that group supports with our forests, our farms, and our fisheries. And just to talk a little bit about that group and its importance in the community. And I know, David, you do that regularly, but it was fun for me to get the chance to go and represent in the community, because I think it's safe to say that all three commissioners have very strong support of our natural resource industries. They are the cornerstone industries on which Tillamook County was founded and continue to be critical for our workforce and for our economy. So that was a great opportunity to share that. The other place I got to be this weekend is I was down in Pacific City for the Pacific City Woods CAC annual meeting and got to share the same information that Commissioner Bell just shared regarding the rumor about the boat launch, and had a chance just kind of to visit with them about their concerns around short-term rentals, get their information so that we can include that with the short-term rental advisory committee work that is currently ongoing, and a chance to just sort of sit and listen to what was important in their community. So it was a great opportunity. And normally Commissioner Yamamoto attends those, and we typically try not to be in the same place at the same time due to the quorum. So it was wonderful that he was out of the area, and it gave me a chance to go down and be in person in that meeting. So I appreciated that opportunity. There are three meetings coming up this week that I think are exciting and of importance. Today, we have the new director of the Department of Land Conservation and Development visiting us here in Tillamook County. Right after this call, I will be heading up to Rockaway Beach, where they are hosting that meeting. And it's just a really good opportunity for the new leadership to actually visit our county, which I talked with her and she apparently does fairly frequently, but to look at it around the eye of development, particularly in my mind around workforce housing development, and have an opportunity to visit with her about where our challenges lie related to land use when it comes to workforce housing development. We have to get leadership at that agency on board, because so much of what happens there in their rulemaking. And while we can and will continue to work with our legislators regarding changes that can be made, at the end of the day, Department of Land Conservation and Development really is the one that sets the rules that makes things happen or not. And so we're excited to have her come here and have that face-to-face with her and many of her key staff as well, to share our challenges and our plight, to see if we can't find some creative solutions with the support of that agency. So that's today. I'm excited about that one. Tomorrow, we have a meeting relating to the Alderbrook Golf Course, which many people know is for sale, has been for a bit of time, and the community is very interested in what options might exist for that golf course. So we are holding what I am just calling a listening session. And all three commissioners will be present. We will be at the community college starting at 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. It is a public meeting. We invite people to join us in meeting rooms 214 and 215 if you're comfortable being in person. There will also be, or is also, a call-in option. I believe it's the same number as the one you were on today. There is, so you can listen in, and we will do our best to take comment from those online as well. I do want to just let people know this meeting is a listening session about opportunities for the property. It will not be a place where we accept negative comments regarding the property itself, regarding the ownership, regarding its closure, those pieces that people are frustrated about. We are not there to hammer on those. We're there to look at a piece of property in the community that has been identified to have great significance and importance to our community, and really look at what options do people have in their minds, what creative opportunities, and see if path for this community regarding that property. So if you have ideas and thoughts and you would like to come and share in a positive brainstorming opportunity, we hope you will join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the community college. Another meeting that's happening this week that people are invited to join that's going to be really exciting is our Housing Commission. Our Housing Commission happens every month on the first Thursday, and you always hear me talk about it here. It's out at the Port of Tillamook Bay. It is in the conference room of their office building. You can also do that one online, and the link is on the community development webpage. What's super exciting about our meeting this month is that we have opened our first grant round so that we have a funding source for grants and loans for multifamily housing projects in the community. And last time I checked in with our housing coordinator, we had 5 grant applications that we will be hearing presentations from on Thursday. So if you're curious as to who's thinking about building housing in our community, where and what kind of housing, please feel free to join us. Again, you can join us in the room or you can join us online, but we're super excited that we have 5 and we understand we may get 1 more application, so we may have 6. And at this time, I believe we have 2 North County, 2 South County, 1 Central, and again, 1 pending that I don't know where it may be. So this is just a really exciting opportunity to see what the Housing Commission is doing to support housing development. So with that, I hope that I will see some or all of you at one or another of these meetings. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Starr, and thank you for attending the Tillamook Working Lands and Waters Parkett event. And that's a great event, great family event. We show some great movies, and we do it in an area that is totally different than going to a movie theater. It's just such a fun event, so I appreciate you doing that. And the Housing Commission, that is something that you've been working on diligently, I know, and making a lot of progress. Housing is something that we all know in Tillamook County we are in dire need of. So appreciate your work on that. So as far as for me, last Tuesday after our community call, of course we had our Tillamook Lightwave meeting, and that was always fun. It didn't last very long, but it was a great meeting. We are getting to the point, we're on the cusp of signing a contract, hopefully, with NOAANET to help provide some staffing for us and some other work that we need to do. We're making great progress on actually rolling out fiber to the home in Tillamook County, and I know you've heard me talk about that before, especially our first baby steps with the Amazon cable coming into Tillamook County. So that was, as always, an exciting meeting. On Thursday of last week, I attended 2 meetings, which were very similar. First one I attended was the Oregon Broadband Advisory Council. I have been reappointed by the governor's office to OBAC, and this was our first reconfigured OBAC meeting. There are pretty much all new people involved with this. We have cities, we have 2 telecoms, Peak Internet and Pioneer Connect, representing the telecom industries. We have the tribes involved. We have education and libraries involved, rural business and EDDs involved, urban business or EDDs, telehealth, digital equity interests. We have a public at large member which still has not been filled by the governor's office, and we hope that gets done soon. And Representative Pam Marsh is back on OBAC. Great to see her. And Senator Lee Beyer is a new legislator that is working on OBAC with us all. So we anticipate good things happening. There is going to be a lot of money coming into Oregon through the federal government. And Business Oregon is going to be distributing that money. And OBAC, Oregon Broadband Advisory Council, is the advisory council to Business Oregon in this event. So this ought to be an exciting ride as we move forward with this. The other meeting I attended on Thursday afternoon, I have been appointed to the Oregon Cybersecurity Working Group. And this is exciting. I don't know many people. This is a new group again. I don't know many people on this group. They're mostly from the academic world or from places like Intel and places like that. So I feel a little out of place here, except for the fact that when I tell Tillamook County's story of how 2.5 years or so ago, we got hacked by ransomware, and all of a sudden everybody's interests are piqued. How we managed to get through that situation, the things we've done since that time to strengthen our security, as well as the story about how this our evil group, which attacked us, they have been arrested overseas in Europe or somewhere, and they have been extradited to the United States, where they were tried and found guilty. We're being told by our Department of Justice that we probably shouldn't expect much in the way of restitution, but we were one of the small groups that they hit. They've been doing this for a while, and my understanding that they were really making a lot of money on this. So it's good to hear that justice does prevail from time to time. So with that, I think those are the only updates that I wanted to bring across. So let's go to the city. City of Manzanita, Mike Scott. Mike, are you with us?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
So up here in Manzanita, we're right in the middle of our annual financial audit this week. And after this call, I'm off for a meeting with the financial auditors for a progress report. And that's all I have this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Scott. Appreciate you being here. Let's go to the city of Nehalem. Do we have Melissa Thompson-Keeper or anyone else from the city of Nehalem with us? How about the city of Wheeler? Do we have Mayor Doug Honeycutt or City Manager Mary Johnson or any other city councilors from Wheeler? How about Rockaway Beach? Mayor Sue Wilson or anyone else from Rockaway? City of Garibaldi, do we have Mayor Tim Hall with us?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Garibaldi has nothing to report this week. But I really appreciate the update that we're getting from the sheriff and everyone else that's on this call. It's most appreciated.
Thank you, Mayor, for being with us this morning. Let's go to Bay City. Mayor David McCall or anyone else from Bay City?
Yes, good morning. This is Mayor McCall. Bay City has no update this week. Thank you for the opportunity, though.
Thank you for being here. City of Tillamook, do we have City Manager Nathan George?
Good morning, Commissioner.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you. Yes, I do have a few updates. In the police department, a reminder for everyone to please use caution, to be aware of your surroundings. Our children start going back to school next week, and we'll be walking more on our sidewalks and neighborhoods. We are excited that Officer Trent Olson will begin next week in his full-time role as a school resources officer for the Tillamook School District. Due to vacancies in the TPD, this position has not been fully staffed for the past couple of years. We're excited to announce that is no longer the situation. Officer Neubauer heads off to the DPSST, which stands for Department of Public Safety Standards and Training, in 2 weeks to the Basic Police Academy. He's progressed very well so far in his field training and evaluation program, and we are excited to have him continue his training at the State of Oregon Police Academy. In the Public Works Department, 5th Street and Grove Avenue were paved last week, and the Elm Street between 5th Street and 6th Street and the entrances on the east side of the TLC Federal Credit Union are on the city's summer schedule for paving. And again, if anyone sees a pothole or any other issues that need to be addressed, please call our main number and follow the prompts to our Public Works Department. We now have a full-time person who answers the phone. And we also have Public Works at TillamookOR.gov. You can always email just publicworks@TillamookOR.gov as well. 2 Public Works staff employees are participating in our stormwater training this week. This is very important to help the city provide the best services possible in this important utility. For your information, stormwater management is one of the city's 3 utilities that it has. The others are water and wastewater. The raw water line connection is complete on our Hurleman Hill project, which reconnects the Fawcett Creek intake back to the city's water system. This has been offline for many years. The next step is to continue working on the finished water line. Staff will be busy pulling mandatory water samples to maintain clean drinking water throughout the city this week. This will be very important to our community to not only ensure safe drinking water, but for maintaining continuity of its operations. The city works very hard to do everything possible to avoid issuing boil notices if possible, for boil notices are a great disruption to all residents, businesses, and citizens. Public Works is still experiencing staffing shortages, and several open positions. If you are interested in applying, please visit City Hall or the city's website at tillamookor.gov to apply. We offer great benefits, flexibility, and a working environment. Come work for a great team and great city. One last update would be on First Street. I went out and looked at the issue we have with a failing wastewater line along First Street literally in First Street, between between Pacific Avenue and Main Avenue. So we'll be working on a solution to that, and we'll come forward with more information as soon as possible. The city still has vacancies on the Tillamook Urban Renewal Agency and the city's budget committee. For next year, of course, the budget committee. If you're interested in serving or know someone interested in serving, please have them call the city or visit our website at tillamookor.gov. Final reminder that anyone wanting to run for city council needs to contact the city recorder's office and submit their application, which is due today, August 30th, 2022. At City Hall, we close at 4 p.m. The mayor and 4 councilor positions are open for election. For any questions, to file an application with signatures or anything else regarding service as elected official, please contact the city recorder's office by calling our main number or going online to the city's website at tillamookor.gov. Lastly, I updated this last week, but wanted to throw it back out there. The former Power Chevrolet property on Highway 101, North Main Street, was approved for demolition, grading, and a fill permit only. No other project plans have been submitted to the city. The owners, contractors went through and obtained all proper permits, including those regarding the FEMA, which is Federal Emergency Management Agency. I mentioned this as the city has been receiving a high number of inquiries, and we're still receiving them, about the work being done at that location. Our city planner gave a really detailed update on this process and what the applicant had to comply with to get their permits, especially regarding work in the floodway at our last council meeting. If you have any questions, please contact the city's planning department. And that is all I have, Commissioner. Thank you for the time.
Nathan, thank you for being with us. One item of interest to me is giving you a call if there's a pothole that needs to be fixed. Do you guys come down to Pacific City?
No. Unless we can work out a contract.
Well, that's disappointing. That is very disappointing. Thank you for being with us, Nathan.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Last but certainly not least, let's go to South County. Doug Olson. Doug, are you with us?
I am. Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Not too much to report this week as we finish summer. I will say there was conversation earlier about Habitat for Humanity and some of their success stories. There's a beautiful home, almost finished, looks like it's almost finished in Hebo. It's directly across from the Christian Church on the east side of Highway 101. So if you happen to be down that way and you're driving 101, you might notice that there's a brand new home going in. I don't know who the fortunate family will be, but it's a beautiful home and the system works. So that part is good to know. The only other thing is everybody goes back to school soon, and football starts this coming weekend, so all is right throughout the land. So that's about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug, for being with us. With that, I want to thank everyone for attending this morning, but a special thank you to KTIL for broadcasting this community update every Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock. So, time being 8:53 a.m., we will adjourn this community update. Thank you again, everyone, for being here.